Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. In our last episode, we explored Chapter 8 of Handbook of Abhidhamma Studies, Volume 3, where we studied Nibbana and conditionality. We saw how Nibbana is the unconditioned reality, how conditional relations cease at enlightenment, and how the unconditioned is realized through conditioned practice. Today we move into Chapter 9. Practical application in meditation. This chapter is especially important because it brings the Abhidhamma down to earth. It shows how conditionality is not just theory, but something we can observe in daily life. It encourages meditators to notice how feelings condition craving, how mindfulness conditions wisdom, and how every moment is shaped by conditions. It also shows that Vipassana meditation is essentially the observation of conditionality, and it provides practical exercises for noticing conditionality directly. So, if you've ever wondered, how do I use Abhidhamma in daily life? How does conditionality help in meditation? How can study and practice come together? This chapter will guide us. Conditionality is not just a philosophical concept, it is something we can observe in daily life. Examples: pleasant feeling arises, conditions craving; unpleasant feeling arises, conditions aversion; neutral feeling arises, conditions ignorance; mindfulness arises, conditions wisdom. By observing these conditional relations, we see how suffering arises. We also see how mindfulness and wisdom can break the chain. For example, when anger arises, we can notice this is conditioned by perception and attention. It is not me, it is just conditions. That reflection weakens attachment. So conditionality is observable in daily life. It helps us understand how the mind works. Insight meditation, or Vipassanā, is essentially the observation of conditionality. In Vipassanā, we observe phenomena as they arise and cease. We notice how one condition leads to another. Examples: feeling conditions craving, craving conditions clinging, mindfulness conditions wisdom. This observation leads to insight into impermanence, suffering, and non-self. For example, when observing the breath, we notice how attention conditions concentration. When observing thoughts, we notice how perception conditions recognition. This shows that Vipassana is the practical application of conditionality. It is the direct observation of how phenomena arise due to conditions. So Abhidhamma study and Vipassana practice are deeply connected. One provides the map, the other provides the journey. How can we observe conditionality directly? Here are some practical exercises. 1. Mindfulness of feeling. Oh, notice pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral feelings. Oh, observe how they condition craving or aversion. 2. Mindfulness of thought. Oh, notice thoughts as they arise. Oh, observe how perception conditions recognition, how volition conditions action. 3. Mindfulness of reaction. Oh, notice reactions to events. Oh, observe how feeling conditions craving, how mindfulness can condition wisdom. 4. Reflection on impermanence. Oh, notice how each moment arises and ceases. Oh, reflect on the impermanence of all phenomena. 5. Reflection on non-self. Oh, notice how phenomena arise due to conditions, not due to a permanent self. These exercises help us observe conditionality directly. They transform study into practice. Abhidhamma study provides the framework. Vipassana practice provides the experience. Together, they lead to liberation. For example, Abhidhamma teaches that feeling conditions craving. In meditation, we observe this directly. Abhidhamma teaches that mindfulness conditions wisdom. In meditation, we experience this. So, study and practice must go together. Study without practice is dry. Practice without study can be unclear. Together, they are powerful. This integration bridges Abhidhamma study with lived practice. How does this help us in practice? By observing conditionality, we see impermanence, suffering, and non self. We weaken craving and attachment. We cultivate mindfulness and wisdom. This reflection inspires us. It reminds us that Abhidhamma is not abstract, it is practical. It is a map for liberation. So, reflection on conditionality deepens insight and supports meditation. Some critics say Abhidhamma is too technical. Why so many conditions? Isn't this over analysis? But the purpose is precision. Just as a scientist studies molecules in detail, a meditator studies conditions in detail. Another criticism is that it is too abstract. But in practice, even a basic understanding helps us see conditionality. We don't need to memorize all 24 conditions. We just need to see that phenomena arise due to causes and can cease when causes are removed. So, to conclude, Chapter 9 of Volume 3 emphasizes the practical application of conditional relations. We've learned that meditators can observe conditionality in daily life. We've seen that Vipassana is essentially the observation of conditionality. We've explored practical exercises for noticing how feelings condition craving and how mindfulness conditions wisdom, and we've seen how Abhidhamma study can be bridged with lived practice. Most importantly, we've seen how this helps us in practice. By observing conditionality, we deepen insight, reduce attachment, and move toward liberation. Thank you so much for joining me in this deep dive into Chapter 9 of Handbook of Abhidhamma Studies, Volume 3. We've journeyed through the practical application of conditional relations, seeing how feelings condition craving, how mindfulness conditions wisdom, and how Vipassana is the observation of conditionality. We've reflected on how Abhidhamma study can be integrated with meditation practice. If you found this exploration helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who might be interested in Buddhist philosophy and meditation. In our next episode, we'll move into Chapter 10, where we summarize the Abhidhamma system and reflect on its integration into daily practice. Until then, may you be well, may you be peaceful, and may you continue your journey into wisdom.